here to take an island expansion, and that could work out either way. See, so Luxury, it depends on if Luxury has the balls to really go and get some mutalisks and snipe that expansion. It'd be pretty difficult uh, for Much to defend that if he decided to do something like that. Send in some Scourges, because he doesn't really have a lot of Corsairs built up at this point. I think I've only seen 4. They may not have shown his grouping lately. He may have 5 or 6 theoretically. And oh, very nice. There we see some nice little info links. Those links are gonna spot those units coming in. He knows those are there. He's got burrowed Hydralisks. He is so ready to unburrow those Hydralisks. Oh my gosh, they're gonna pop out. Let's see if they can pick off the shuttle. They're not gonna be able to pick off the shuttle. Scarab even goes off. Beautiful, beautiful work by Much. The Scarab goes off, kills a couple drones. Very nicely done by Much. Luxury, it looks like, is going to try and run in and intercept that shuttle, but he's not going to be able to. Yeah, it's just not flying in quite the correct path. So it looks like 7 Corsairs now for Much. And I haven't seen if they're upgraded or not, but that is enough Corsairs to pretty much stop most Scourges, and almost, well, not any amount of Scourges, but he could send in 6 Scourges, and those Corsairs would take care of it pretty easily. If you have enough to kill one, you have enough to kill all, basically. So he's definitely investing heavily. Okay, we can see the Cybernetics core whirring, so that means Much is upgrading weapons, possibly armor, most likely weapons for his Corsairs there. So he's definitely investing heavily in this. Luxury, and this is a tactic that, I don't know if Jaedong invented it, or if he just made it popular, but I didn't really ever notice Zerg players doing this until Jaedong did it against Stork in the OSL finals. That was the famous OSL finals, and so it's become really popular, and it's been really successful. And you see, not all Zergs are doing it, but the successful ones are. The really, really elite ones are doing it. Jaedong still does it, and so I'm not surprised to see Luxury doing it. Luxury, I've done a lot of his games recently. I've talked about how I don't really think that he's top tier, but he's a little bit below top tier. He's not S rank, but he's A rank. He wouldn't be level 10 out of 10. He'd be like 9 or maybe 8. Depending. Oh no! Oh, wow! Just flying into that Scourge. Scourge had to do no work at all. The laziest successful Scourge ever. But it looks like Luxury is in a little bit of trouble though, because he's gotten some Reavers dropped above this ramp. One of them is within range of that hatchery, it looks like. If not, yeah, it's within range of that hatchery. So Much is actually just going to snipe that hatchery. And very nicely done by Luxury, putting those sunken colonies around just to have a little bit of protection, so that it would be a little bit more difficult to drop Reavers out and what have you. Force Much to spend a little bit more Disruption Web if he drops and what have you. But at this point, it doesn't matter. And Luxury coming in with a lot of Scourges here. We'll have to see if those Corsairs are going to be enough to stop this many Scourges. They're not quite bunched up, so it may have a little bit of problem protecting there. They're not going to be able to focus their fire as much. The Scourge is a little bit spread out as well. Scourges are coming in here. Looks like he loses 2 Corsairs. 2 Corsairs in that. And see, that's what I'm talking about, folks. If you have enough Corsairs, they can pretty much kill massive Scourges because of the splash damage. And again, the only reason they killed those 2 Corsairs is because both the Corsairs and the Scourges were spread out on... Oh, beautifully done by Much. Did you see that? He waited. He waited until the hatchery came in. He knew it was there. He spotted it with his shuttles. He waited for it to come in before moving his Reavers over there. And it goes down. Much is a little bit trapped here, actually. And I think he realizes that. That's why he's not trying to pick up his units and fly out. He's just kind of bottled into that corner. He's a little bit trapped. And this could be a critical point. If Luxury can do something crazy here and take out that force, then he may be able to take an advantage here. Some Lings going in to take the first Scarabs, and Disruption Web going down. He Disruption Webs one of his own Reavers, unfortunately, but he also Disruption Webs a couple Hydralisks. A little bit poor on the Disruption Webs there, but it looks like it was just good enough to hold things off. There are some Hydralisks underneath those webs, and it looks like Much is going to try and get out. Some Hydralisks chasing down. They managed to take out the shuttle, and also another Corsair or 2, it looked like. So nicely done by Luxury. Luxury, I think, definitely took that battle. He cornered Much extremely, extremely well in that corner, and I guess it's where you corner people, is in the corner, but he did a very, very good job cornering him, and then went in for the attack. It was very nice play by him, sending in Zerglings to take those 4 Scarabs, and then going in with Hydralisks. Much you know, did a pretty good job of disruption webbing, but it just wasn't quite good enough. Um, you know, it just wasn't quite good enough. And now he's just doing a little side attack here. Disruption web's a little bit better now. Very, very nicely done. Nice. That one, putting down disruption web right next to his Reaver, so it didn't actually affect the Reaver, though. And he's even going to, it looks like he might have even taken out a burrowed drone with that Scarab. So nicely done by Much, and he's even going to be able to attack that sunken colony, which is under the disruption web as well. So a little bit better micro on Much's part that time. His micro with the disruption web was not at its best in the top right-hand corner. In fact, I think Stork versus Luxury. I think was that versus. I know Stork played a game. I know during versus GG play at least his and that was a little while ago. But Stork's disruption web was just completely ridiculously on top of it, and it was really nicely done. A little bit behind that level, basically, is what I'm saying. And now Much actually taking the expansion of the bottom right base just out from under Luxury's nose, and and now he's going to come in with his full force here and try and attack Luxury's base in the bottom right hand corner as well. And he's going to have to slow crawl his Reavers in there a little bit, I think. Try and pick off those sunken colonies before he gets within range, but very nicely done in general. By the way, Luxury is the one you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, the mineral count. Luxury had 2,000 minerals in the bank, almost 800 gas, so he has got a lot of... Oh my goodness gracious, I saw those mutalisks earlier. I did not know that he was going to turn them into Devours, and that completely makes sense. Oh, Carriers coming out too! I didn't even notice those earlier. I'm sorry if I missed the Carriers earlier, but Jesus Christ, a ton of Scourges, a ton of Devours. If those Devours get Acid Spores and Ensnare, oh my goodness, he's going to completely own Much's force here if he can do this properly, if he can micro correctly. I don't know if he knows those cannons are there, though. Much has those cannons to fall back to. Ensnare goes off. Acid Spores goes off. Those Corsairs are completely neutralized right now. They're not able to fire it at decent rate. They can't even move away in general. Jesus Christ, Scourge is going in, absolutely slaughtering Much's force. You can see the shock on Much's face there. He was able to evacuate, it looks like, half of his Corsairs to that other base. And he was able to critically get his Reavers out as well. So his Reavers were unaffected, but those Corsairs got reduced in number. You know, they could have gotten a lot worse, actually, because I thought they was going to get slaughtered. I thought that those oh Jesus, Much, what are you doing? Where is he going with those? Oh my goodness! Oh, he's bringing them out to try and take these Guardians out. And really, if he can kill off those Guardians and sacrifice those Corsairs, that would be a good sacrifice. But the Devours are just going to chase those Corsairs back to those cannons. I think Much is pretty much going to get pressed back here. Luxury pushing out on those cannons now with those Guardians. He's killed off 6 cannons now and not taking a single Guardian loss. And now he's just playing a little game of cat and mouse here, and just Much just does not have an ensnare going off on the Corsairs also, so that makes them even less effective right now. So Luxury taking a huge decisive advantage in this game. Much has 4 bases still aside from this base, but in the meantime, that's all he really has, and I don't know if he's even going to be able to evacuate those shuttles. Running his shuttles out, I'm not sure. Whoa, what are you doing, Much? Maybe he's trying to get him to chase the shuttles or something like that. I'm not exactly sure why he did that, why he just decided to kill his shuttles off. He could have gone up to the north and gone around maybe, but things looking bad here. But now Much actually coming in with his backup force. Much coming in with those Carriers. They are clumped up, so they're at risk for some Acid Spores and Ensnare as well. The Ensnare won't affect them too much, except they won't be able to run away. The Interceptors will still fire at full rate and what have you. And now the Corsairs in the top right are taking out those Guardians, but he's in the meantime produced more Guardians. That single group of Devours doing an excellent job of holding things off, and he's managed to at least kill that base. So nicely done by Luxury. He didn't really lose a lot during that whole process. I mean, he kept those Devours alive a long time, and that may have been why he was saving up all those minerals that I mentioned before, so he could morph a ton of high-level air units all at the same time. And while this was all going on, this is the important part, while this was all going on, Luxury has picked up 3 bases. He's picked up the middle of the map, he's picked up 2 in the top right-hand corner of the map as well. And he's going to need those now that he's losing this base as well. It looks like Much just came in with too many Carriers and too many extra Corsairs and was able to finally drive back that Air Force of Luxuries. And Actually, Jesus, that's a lot of. I didn't realize